Welcome back guys, VST here at Tech. There are some new updates, some of the Samsung stock applications, but Expert RAW really drew my attention. So Samsung released a new version, luckily this time also with a changelog. What is new? Image quality improvement, and also fixed the loading error of Astrophoto to Lightroom with high efficiency RAW. And guys, this is very important. They also added the disclaimer that one should use this version only with the latest software update, which means that if you have an S23 Ultra device and you're not running on the April firmware, you're not going to be able to use that one. So I'm just thinking, yeah, this is something I need to test. And a bit more information, version is 2085 from the 14th of April, 128 gigabytes. So definitely on my testing radar, guys. I've planned to do the following. I'm gonna shoot some very nice samples with the current version that I do have right now, and this is the old one, right? I'm going to then update to the latest one and then redo. So I'm gonna shoot some nice flowers. I want to trigger this HDR to still see if the halo effect is gonna be present, you know, the halo, the glow effect, which I pretty much know that is gonna be here because Samsung are yet to address this with another update, hopefully coming end of April or beginning of May. So then I'm gonna move away from the flowers, put Super Mario there, and then test also how these scenes will look like. Again, everything is gonna be shoot first with the current version, which is the one that I have right now. And if I click on the Expert Pro, you see I'm using 20071. So I'm gonna use the old one, do some samples, update, redo all these samples, guys, and then for your viewing pleasure, mine as well, of course, compare it and try to see if there are any tangible improvements in this photo quality. All right, and if you're here for the first time, guys, you might as well want to check my YouTube channel for more videos like this. So I do a lot of tech content. I try to be fun. Yeah, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, but all right, the focus really is on tech. Buckle up and let's start. My first test object is gonna be this nice little flower here, using this scene with the backlight to try to trigger the HDR. So very important, guys. I wanna show you my settings. I am only saving raw pictures, and also very important, I'm also using auto HDR on. All right, let me show you what I mean. I'm gonna focus here on the picture, shoot one sample with the wide camera, open it, guys, and now take a look. HDR being boom, process, that's it. All right, so I'm gonna take a few more samples. So I'm gonna also switch to the ultra wide, see how that is gonna work. All right, I'm gonna try to recreate the very same scenarios with the then updated version. Okay, so it's very important for me to memorize the scene setting. Okay, another one. I got my Super Mario lineup for the other scenario. So now a shot with the wide camera. All right, checking if everything goes fine. Yeah, it takes a lot to processing. Boom, it's there. Okay, then I'm gonna switch again to the ultra wide. Okay, try to focus here. Take one more shot, guys, and then I'm gonna switch to the 3x telephoto. And let me just not initiate any manual focus. And in that case, I can also try to take up a close-up 10x. All right, make sure we have focus 10x, guys. Let me check the samples. So we have the 10x still being processed. Wow, it takes a lot. And then, whoa, my God, the HDR just went totally nuts. Check Mario's head and check it here. Oh my God, all right. Then we have the ultra wide and then the normal one. And now, guys, what I'm gonna do here together with you, I'm gonna go back. I'm going to update the Expert RAW, right? Then close everything and redo all these scenes. And I just show you the process because I do believe that's important for you to see really my texting mechanism. Okay, updating it, going back to the other scene, reshooting everything, and then let's compare. And now the fun time starts with the comparison, guys. So on your left, you are going to experience the old version. How can we be sure? See here the timestamp, right? So on your left, I'm using the previous Expert Pro version, and on the right, guys, and again here we are checking the timestamp, we are using the latest one. And remember, that's the flower, the first scene, and we start now with the regular main camera. I'm trying to zoom out and try to compare compare, and what I see, there are some differences, although I cannot be 100% sure if this is really because of processing. Like for example, here we have definitely a better focus compared to here, or it was of course the device behind the camera, in that case myself. But to be frank and honest, I don't see any big differences here. In fact, both pictures are very pleasant, so I would call it here being a draw in this scenario. Now I'm gonna show you the second sample, and remember the second sample is still using the flower, but it's utilizing the ultra-wide camera. And the first thing we want to do is zoom on the flower, and definitely here something went wrong. Again, it could be my fault, but in the end of the day, guys, there is definitely some different type of processing. See here, we can see that the color is definitely lighter than this color here, and also I'm looking at the edges, because again this is where we can try to spot some of let's say the main differences and the shortcomings. So right now I would say that this picture also came out a bit the same, but I even prefer in that case the version from the previous Expert RAW. And now a bit more interesting, we are now approaching the telephoto camera, the 3X. So 3X here on the left you can see the previous version, and on the right you can see the latest Expert RAW. Again, we're trying to see here, trying to nitpick and see eventually which came out better, and I can see there are changes here. Again, I'm not so sure, is it because of me, or maybe Samsung changed something in the processing, but definitely the focus is better on this picture. Alright, the one from the previous version looked a bit more out of focus here, with some blur, which some can blame on the sensor and etc. But I can just see these tiny little details, like even this train here. And it seems that in fact the picture from the right came out better. Alright, not 100% better, but definitely more focus in the details that are not in the center. And with that said, guys, I will move now to the Super Mario tests. Again, remember, on the left side you are gonna see the old version. How do we know? Again, we are checking the timestamp. And by the way, if you're keen to check all the other parameters like the aperture and the exposure, the ISO, you can of course also do this here. Now let's try to zoom in here, guys. Again, it's gonna be very hard to spot some differences, and also remember this is 12 megapixel RAW, so it's still a very huge file. You can also tell here by the size, so the file size is definitely the same. I'm looking here at the skin texture. I'm trying to see some changes, some improvements, or even something that doesn't really look that good, but specifically in this case I would say is 100% the same, so no major improvements in that particular case. Now we are going to switch to the ultra-wide camera, and this is, oh my god, this really burns my eyes. I show you also on the preview, this is definitely not the color of the Super Mario head. Something really weird is going on with the auto HDR. Now this is absolutely off the book. It looks disgusting. It's too saturated. I thought it's perhaps the reason is I'm using Vivid setting on my screen, but it really looks weird. But on the other side, guys, we can see also some improvement, because see the leather detail and the leather texture here. If I try to zoom a bit, we have noise. Now this shot is really better, although I mean if we disregard the colors that are really not so good, that's a raw picture, so even if the HDR wasn't doing a nice job, we can always go back and correct this. And I do believe here that we can see some differences, so I really like this a bit better. This looks really like my real leather. This, by the way, real leather, right? This looks like the real color on my couch, and this here looks bad. And now let's check also some of the other samples. So we are now approaching very interesting one. This is the 3X. Oh, again, burning my eyes. But remember, this is raw, so technically if we disregard the fancy colors, this I believe can be fixed. There is here a very slight hair, very tiny hair on this picture. Oh, notice something else, guys, on the focus. Now it seems that the new version definitely doing better with focusing, because I was not really auto-focusing in most of those samples, so definitely some improvement is seen. We just go to the very next sample where we can check the 10x, right? The 10x, and alright, 10x. Yeah, this is really a pleasure to look at. So here we can already see that the level of detail is kind of the same. I cannot tell which one is better. They look really similar to me. So I was still able to conclude that in all of those scenarios, guys, there were some minor, I will call them like minor improvements, mainly with the focus and probably less noise, particularly in this scenario here with the core. So maybe worth revisiting this one more. This is the ultra wide camera, now definitely doing a better job with the latest version. This here looks a bit more accurate, and also of course this green noise is not there. So guys, if you enjoy videos like this, again, remember to check my channel. I hope you like what I do. If that's the case, let me know what you think down below in the comments, guys. Stay safe, and you'll meet in one of my next videos. And with that said, VST over and bye.